What's up guys, it's Mei, and in this video I'm going to be giving you some intro ideas for your story and show you how you can make them yourself. You'll need to upload custom backgrounds and overlays for this, so I'll be sure to show you how to do that as well. Just a quick tip before we get started, this might be personal preference, but I feel like it's really important to keep in mind the duration of your intro. Don't drag it on too long, especially since we're talking about episode here. You want it to be short and catchy. Personally, I've had times where I loved a certain story enough to continue reading it, but because the author made his or her intro so super long, it eventually started to annoy me, I guess. Remember, people have to watch ads before reading that episode too. I mean, I personally don't have to as I'm in a tastemaker program, and not sure if that's still a thing, but whatever. Point is, those ads are already tedious enough, and to have your readers sit through another half a minute or so of just warnings and reminders that are put at the beginning of every episode, well, it really tries their patience, I'd say. At least it tries mine. You see the difference between an intro to a television show and an intro to an episode on episode is that on episode, readers can't actually fast forward to when the actual episode starts. Unlike a TV series which you can skip ahead when watching it online, and if you cannot, you'll notice the intros are thus very short or consist of merely a recap of what previously happened. So to put this into an episode perspective, you would ideally want your intro to be like 10 to 20 seconds short, the time of transitions included. Obviously, it all comes down to the feel of it, and only by going through the intro of your story yourself, you'll be able to determine whether the duration is too long, too short, or just about right. Although I doubt that being too short would in any situation really be a problem, as some stories don't even have intros. But those that do, just remember your readers are going to have to sit through that same intro every single episode. So I suggest you make your intro catchy, obviously, but try to keep it short as well. Overall, intros can really help grasp a new reader's attention, for example, and are just a super nice addition to your story. It adds a more professional vibe to it, I think. So as shown in my previous video, a very commonly known default intro is the one with the OG warning preset background. The first intro option is actually really easy when it comes to scripting it, as it only requires you to change the background into a custom one. We're going to open up an editing program. I personally use Funky as it gets most of the basic stuff done. I use the free version obviously because I'm cheap and it was the first thing that popped up on Google when I typed in photo editor. So yeah, as you can tell, I have nothing special to say about it, so moving on. I'm going to use a random photo I found on Pinterest as example, but you can just use your own story cover for this. Just make sure to resize or crop the image so that it matches the aspect ratio of 640 pixels wide and 1136 pixels tall, basically the size of your phone screen. Then you just go to text and click on add text. It gives you a bunch of fonts to choose from. You can change it to about any size and color you want. A nice tip regarding colors is that you can just fill in a hex code here, which means the options are literally limitless. I like to use the website w3schools.com whenever I'm trying to find a specific color shade. So just go to HTML colors, and here you'll find a ton of color hex codes already, but that's not all. You can also click on shades and it will give you all shades of a specific color from light to dark, which already gives you like a billion more options to choose from. But if you still can't find that one color you're looking for, go back to the previous page and click on mix. Basically, you select the two colors that you want to overlap in order to form a new color or whatever. I don't know, I personally don't use this, but it's cool, I guess. In addition to that, you can also use the eyedropper tool and literally like just copy an already existing color in the image that you're editing. This is useful if you want to match your title to a certain element on your story cover, for example. As for the rest of the options, it all comes down to how you want your title to look and where you want it to be, etc. Just experiment with it and see what works for you. After I've saved the edit to my files, I'm going to pull the episode portal back up and go to the art catalog. Under backgrounds, select uploaded to your account, then select image and give it a background name. Be sure to stick to the standard background name format so you prevent any possible script errors in the future. In short, int may refer to internal and ext may refer to external, meaning whether your background describes a place inside or outside. When this is not applicable, like right now, I usually use int just because I find it easier to type. This gets followed by single dot, then a brief description of your choice, followed by dash and then day or night, which speaks for itself. All backgrounds and overlays you upload need to get approved by episode first before you can upload your story with it to the app. You can still read and test your story, just not share it with others. The time of approval usually takes a few days up to a week and sometimes even more. In extremely rare occasions though, it gets approved the next day, but again, talking extremely rare occasions here. Anyway, since the background that we just created hasn't been approved yet, an error message will pop up saying exactly that. I'm going to change the number of seconds to 2 just to make the scene last a bit longer, but everything else follows the exact same format as the one we had before. Easy, right? With the second intro option, things get somewhat trickier as we're going to be using overlays for this. I'm just going to head on over to the website called eu2.flamingtext.com, which is a logo design generator thing. Enter your story title here and then select one of the many preset templates presented. Oh, this one is cute. Okay, we're going to pick this one for sure. Then click edit logo. Here you can copy paste a color hex code too if you want. You can edit all sorts of things from fonts to colors to sizes and shadows and more, but I trust that you can figure that out by yourself. Just remember to make the background transparent. I'm just fine. Uploading an overlay to your episode portal is almost the same process as uploading a background. The only difference is that you, well, go to the overlay section instead of the background one. Then again, upload to your account and select image. And of course, you're going to have to give it a name. I'm just going to change this background into one of episode's hidden ones for better illustration. The first thing you're going to have to do when adding in an overlay to your scene is, well, create it. Then you always have to specify the following 3 things: scales, which means size, shifts, which means position, and opacity, which means the transparency. You can just fill in default numbers for this, which are something like 1 for scales. Note how you should state this twice if you don't want it to grow or shrink from one value to the other. 50 and 100 for shifts, which generally makes it show up in the middle of the screen in zone 1. Specify the zone 2 if you want it to be in another zone. By default, it will show up in zone 1, which is what we want right now. And opacity 1. Opacity can be anything from 0.1 to 1, but 1 basically means like it's full color. Its visibility is already at 100%, so it can't be any higher than that. Then you can use the web reviewer to move the text around and get it to where exactly you want it. Once it's in the exact place you want it to be in, you just copy those numbers and paste them into your script. Now, the most fun and probably most exciting part of this video is the animated title. It's a very popular command used these days, and many stories have a similar kind of intro as this one, technically wise. Here's an overview of all the text movements episode has, with the most commonly used being the ease bounce out. Trust me, it took me a hella long time to understand what these commands exactly mean and do, but once you get it, it's actually pretty easy. So the commands with like out at the end will do set motion at the end, while the commands with in at the end will do set motion at the beginning. So all you have to do to add this in your script is shifting your overlay to a certain position in a certain time frame, and then add the command using insert text movement here, which for us would be ease bounce out. Then I will change the opacity of the text to 0.5 in 1.2 seconds. Then change it back to 0.8 and 1.2 seconds again, just for some extra effect. Obviously, this isn't a requirement at all, but it might be a nice idea for you to use. Then I'll have the narrator state the story title and episode number before moving the overlay text off screen using the ease in animation, meaning it will ease in a sense of take it easy at the beginning, and then towards the end of the animation it will like go at a regular pace, if that makes sense. Okay, whatever. So yeah, we're just gonna close this off by transitioning out, of course, as always.
Feel the temperature rise, baby, tell me one more beautiful light. One touch and I ignite. I feel the heat as we collide, like a fever that feels alright. So baby, tell me one more beautiful light. One touch and I ignite. One touch and I ignite. One touch and I ignite.
And lastly, I just wanted to show you guys the intro for my own story. I'm not going to explain it. I'm just going to show you guys how I do it and how it looks in my script. I guess just maybe to give you some inspiration, I just updated my story with the new intro, so I'm really excited about showing it to you guys too, if you haven't seen it already. So yeah, that's probably gonna be like the end of this video, so thanks for watching in advance, and I'm just going to let this video play out. Big shout out to Riley's Edits with a Z at the end for creating this freaking masterpiece. Thank you so much. I love it so much. Yes. Well, bye.